I heard about this 84-year-old woman. She went on a blind date with a 93-year-old man. When she returned home to her daughter's house, she seemed kind of upset. So her daughter asked her what was wrong. She said she had to hit the man 3 times. Her daughter said, "Was he trying to get freaky or something?" The lady replied, "No, I thought he was dead." You're welcome. So we got this last wall done. Took a little bit of rigmaroling, but we got it done. So up here with the heat pump, because we installed it when we originally had the hemlock boards on, in order to take it off and remove the hemlock and all that sort of stuff, it was just going to be a big hassle. So what we've done is we've drywalled up to it, cut around, framed it, and we're going to, with our pine boards that we're going to trim out the windows, the doors, and the ceiling with, we're just going to frame a box around the heat pump so it'll match the same pine that we're already using to trim the windows and doors and stuff with, so it'll look really good. That's why it looks like that right now. As you can see, we've also got our first coat of crack fill on all the walls. So we're loving that. It looks really good. There'll be another coat going on, and then it'll get sanded, and then we'll start painting. And we're probably going to paint it all white and then trim it with the pine, which will match the ceiling. So we're really looking forward to that. Up here, our original intent was not to have a seam up here in the corner of the door, but unfortunately we ran into some issues when doing the drywall and ended up having to cut a seam. So hopefully we don't end up with any problems in the future. Probably won't. Seems like everything's looking good now, but that's why that's there. Just ran into some problems.
Seems like, aha!
Yeah. Now over here, because it's just a small section of wall and then the upper half behind me, we decided we were gonna leave it chipboard and not even bother trying to drywall it. So we're gonna leave it with the chipboard, and we went black. So it's totally contrast to the rest of the white walls. But we thought it might look kind of cool because here's where we load our wood anyway. There's gonna be, it's always usually pretty stacked full of wood. And then up here, we're gonna do, like I said, the black, and then we're gonna trim it out with this. So this pine is the same we're using everywhere else around the windows and doors. So that'll go right here and on all the cracks. So any seams like here, there'll be one run here. And then again at the top and right along the edge, like where the closet is. So we'll run that trim all the way up the closet and around the closet as well. So it's not gonna be a ton of black once you, because this is like 4 inches anyway. So you'll have it on both sides, across some spots, along the top. It'll cover a lot of the black, and the little bit of black I think would just make a nice contrast. We also have some really cool white paintings, or like white frame around them, and we were thinking we would put them against the black wall because that'd look really cool. With the pine trim and then the white framed pictures would look cool. So the paint that we're using for this is actually Fusion mineral paint. I just bought a little container because I figured there's not a lot to paint. So hopefully this little jar will be enough, and it's supposed to go a long way, so we'll see. It's really not a ton that I have to paint anyway, and it's called ash, so it's not actually black, it's ash. And I love it. I think it looks really cool so far. So I'll keep painting that while we wait for these walls to be ready to paint white. Yeah, this was just kind of like a fun little job just to see what it looked like. If we hate it, we'll just drywall over it, but we really wanted to try the contrast, the black versus the white walls, and then leaving it. Because I kind of like the look of the chipboard behind the paint. So, and with this Fusion ash, it'd be super easy. If a piece did happen to chip off, I mean, it's easy. You can find this anywhere and you just touch it up. So that's not a big deal. We're not concerned about that. So it's my little project, keeps me busy, and Yeah, it's the first bit of paint we've done in the house, so that's super fun.
So I just worked away at this for the last 10 hours and get this all sorted out. Ashley didn't help me and had no help at all, but it's all done. So that's good. I'm pretty good at it. We're ready to go. I actually didn't do any of it. We got a guy to do this. It's actually turned out pretty good. And he's basically, I think, just has to come back tomorrow and finish it up. It's turning out nice. So he said it was pretty easy for him to do. So we did a half decent job. That's not bad since I haven't done it in a long time. So that was good to hear. But it's starting to look, you can see up there, it's all starting to come into like a normal looking wall. He just has to come back and like finish up the sand, and it's just a guy lives 15 minutes away, I guess, probably. But hopefully he can make it tomorrow. There's supposed to be a big snowstorm coming tomorrow. So we're supposed to get like, it's forecasting like a foot of snow, but a lot of times when it's forecasting a foot of snow, we usually end up getting like 1.5 times the double that. So we'll see how that goes. I think it's supposed to start in the morning, so maybe by the time the evening rolls around, he'll be able to make it out. But worst case scenario, the day after or something. But it's getting there, so as soon as he's done with that, we'll be able to paint it. So I'm going to show you a couple other things we're going to do here. Okay, so over here, I'm right where we had added the extension. So this here was the original part right here. This is the door, you can see the door coming in from the outside off the deck. And this here is where we had taken the wall out to bring into the extension last summer, or not last summer, the summer before that is when we had the extension. So this here, we're gonna actually build this out with something. We're not 100% sure what yet, but a solid piece of wood up here. And then there'll be trim on the side of it. And then we'll like build it out up here and then up across the top and then trim up the other side there. So that's kind of what happened in this spot. And then over here, we're putting this all around here, right? So it'll be covering, you know, these holes here. That'll be across the top. Still gonna be covering all across the top. And then this will go around that. And then, you know, we'll see how we do that later. Same thing with the top up there, right? This will be up there too. So that'll cover all those ones. And then over in these corners, we actually wanted to have this going up here and then having the corners built out, like with these corner boards. That's the look we wanted. Just more of the cabiny feel still, but you know, with the drywall option to paint whatever we want kind of thing. And then obviously the same over the windows. So all these screws will be touched up here and here. It worked out nice because this is one of the tougher parts to crack fill too, so it made the job go quicker. So this end wall is all smoothing out nicely. It's looking deadly. I love it. It's going to be cool to get it painted, get it trimmed out, and then we'll move on to the next part. So that's awesome. Love it. So that's the progress we got going on in our great room, living room, dining room, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I love it. It definitely looks really, really good. Mm-hmm. And I love the color contrast with the wood, the pine ceiling. It really just makes the pine ceiling pop so much more than the hemlock did. Yeah. Because it matched it. So, and then I think like a gray floor will just make it all really pop. I think it'd be really cool.
So.
I'm loving it.
Me too. It's looking cool.
Yeah.
So wish us luck with the snowstorm.
Yeah, we'll get ready for that.
Right.
Yeah.
We got her all set up outside today, like.
Mm-hmm. Got the bike in the garage, right? And plow's all good, ready to go. So. Yeah. Bring it on, I guess.
I know, right? So,
just don't want to lose power because I don't know what we'd do.
Yeah, right.
Just joking.
Yeah, we're all set up. Jenny's
good to go.
Ready to go, everything if that happens.
Yeah.
So.
Hi, Gray. She's like always wants to be in the videos now. Yeah. She's like a model kitty for the
now that we're
video.
Inside.
Here, Gray, come on back up. Show yourself. Okay, now you're not looking. I was not. I wasn't looking.
All right.
See you in the next one.